Môre julle, dit is Leilani van Krulkop Hap, of hulle noem ons ook Krulkop Klets. Ek het hierso vir, dit is eintlik, wat is jou naam nou weer? Dit is Henty Koch.
Ja.
Okay, you can mostly speak English?
Yes, I am.
Ja, want sy is eintlik tweetalig. Ek gaan Afrikaanse vra. You're welcome to only answer in English if you want to. Okay,
Thank you
whatever
very
you are
much.
comfortable with.
I am very comfortable in English. Afrikaans I can understand well, but yeah, Afrikaans language, my tongue doesn't do what
Hy rol nie
it
so
should.
lekker nie.
Ja,
Nee, ek is baie happy daarmee as jy gaan Engels antwoord. So, ek wil net eers weer eens dankie sê. Jy's gemaklik met my wat Afrikaans praat, né?
Ja.
Weer eens baie dankie sê aan ons goeie vriendin Anne-Marie Botes.
Dankie.
Wat ons verwys het na mekaar toe en Gerard, vir watter kamera moet ek kyk of maak dit nie saak nie? Vir daai een. So wanneer ek praat. En wanneer sy antwoord?
Vra kyk vir haar.
O, okay, nee, great. So ek gaan maar net heeltyd vir jou kyk. So ek wil net baie dankie sê vir Anne-Marie Botes natuurlik wat my en jou
Definitief.
weet connected met mekaar. Ek voel my lewe is 'n klein bietjie ryker vandat ek en jy begin praat het. Jy weet
Baie dankie
Ja.
en vir my ook.
Yes, ja.
Jy maak my baie, you're making me feel very comfortable. Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Ja. No, I really appreciate it and it means a lot for me that you also trust me. Thank you for that because I'm
Yes.
sure you don't trust a lot of people.
No, I don't.
Ja.
At all.
Yeah.
I don't trust.
Yeah.
Trust is an issue for me after what I've been through. This is the first time that I am speaking out. His side of the story was told. There were many lies told in the newspapers. There were many lies told in court. But because I'm not an advocate, I couldn't defend myself in some situations. And I just feel I need to speak out for women that are abused. Not to take the route I did, because you suffer. And how can I say, the suffering is bad.
It's in a way not worth it.
No, it's not worth it. And you get so many people that, because you come out of prison, they tend to label you. And in the meantime, it's a once-off thing that happened. But inside of you, you are a good person. You are a good person.
Absolutely.
It just happened that way. And it's not the right way. But yes, it did happen. And I've learned a lot. And I feel I want to speak out for other abused women and children. And you know, we also tend to forget the men.
That's true.
There are men that are abused as well. So I want to be a spokeswoman for abused women, children, and men, as well as bullying in schools, because that starts. All this abuse starts in schools. When you go and you bully somebody, you think it's right. Nobody's helping you, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to grow up with that, and then you're going to get married and you're going to bully your partner.
Yeah.
And bullying and your partner gets worse. That turns into abuse.
Ja.
So I'm a very big, I love speaking about it because I want to help other women not go the same route I did.
Ja, so ons gaan definitief baie oor dit praat, oor die rede waarvan jy nou net sê wat die roete wat jy gegaan het. Jy weet, we're going to talk about that. But first I just want to say, so ek het jou gaan Google image. Okay, ek het jou foto gaan insit because normally you put an item in that you want to sell. Okay,
Ja.
in Google image.
Ja.
En die result wat ek gekry het ek baie van gehou. Dit sê believe what you want, rising above gossip and judgment. TikTok. Okay? En dit is vir my nogal 'n baie nice dink ek waar jy is, jy weet, so ek het baie daarvan gehou, believe what you want, rising above gossip and judgment. Is dit jou TikTok belief? Is that what your stands for today?
Yes, I stand for that. If you go onto my TikTok account, you will see in the beginning I started off just with photos and music, but then later on I started talking about a little bit about abuse. And then gradually I stopped because I think it was December, and then people don't want to hear sad stories. And then I started making my, my normal using pictures and videos and stuff. And yes, I belong to 4 groups, which the people help me. They comment and they support me very well. But I feel I need to be more vocal about what my plans are for the future. I have Googled different women and children abuse associations, but they're not helping us.
Wow.
They're talking to you, and then they're finding out your story, and that's where it ends. I want to open a group where the people are talking, we are helping the people, we are showing them the correct way. You must speak to your people that are following you.
Yeah.
You mustn't just leave them. You must go and you must talk about it.
No, it's a
you
very
must
important
help
thing.
that person.
Ja, ek hou van wat jy nou sê, because I follow Gary Vee. And he actually said a very important thing. Even if you only have 16 followers, answer those 16
them.
followers because they want to be heard. Hulle wil gehoor word. En dis wat jy nou ook sê.
Yes.
Fokus nie noodwendig om net meer te groei nie, maar fokus op die mense wat regtig hulp nodig het. En dit is wat jy verstaan ek reg?
Yes.
En wanneer jy nou hierdie plekke toe uitreik vir hulp, moenie net by storie hoor sê ek en jy kry ons hoor jy, maar help my regtig.
Help my regtig.
Ja.
Dis dieselfde ding. Ek het sielkundige behandeling gehad. Maar 'n sielkundige leer. Maar 'n sielkundige kan my nie help nie. Want daai sielkundige het nie in my spore getrap nie. Hy weet of sy weet nie hoe ek gevoel. En sy kan my nie help nie. Jy gaan in, jy sit, sy sê, "How can I help you today?" Dan kyk ek net van en sê ek van, "I'm here, you have to help me."
Ja. Ja, goed.
En as sy nie dieselfde, if she wasn't abused, she can't talk with me. She doesn't understand me. She can tell me what she's learned in her books. But walking that road, then you can talk to me. Otherwise you can't talk to me.
Ja, dit is baie
Nobody
waar.
that walked in my shoes can talk to me.
Ja, en vir mense kan jy ook nie label, maar kom ons praat net gou 'n bietjie oor jou, Henty. Eerstens het ek hier geskryf, waar kom jy naam Henty vandaan? Want jy is Henty Letitia.
Ja.
So waar kom jy Henty vandaan?
Dis oud. My ma het 'n sussiekie gehad en sy was 18 maande oud. Toe sy dood. Sy het 'n maagprobleem gehad. En my ouma het gesukkel om oor haar dood te kom. En toe ek nou gebore is, toe sê my ma vir haar, okay, sy gaan vir my nou haar name gee. Haar name was eintlik Drina Aletta. Toe sê my ma, nee, my kind is te mooi, sy kan nie daai name dra nie. Toe gee hulle my die naam Henty Letitia.
Okay, dit maak sin.
Ja.
Nee, want ek was nogal nuuskierig oor dit, want dis nie iets wat jy elke dag hoor nie.
Nee.
Ja.
Nee.
Hoor jy?
Henty is eintlik 'n mansnaam.
Ja, dit is wat my verbaas het.
Ja.
Ek kom vir sy van Henty's baie af. Is er ook 'n nickname, jy weet?
Nee.
So ek is baie nuuskierig oor waar die Henty vandaan kom, maar dankie dat jy vir my sê.
Ja.
Ek het 'n vroutjie gehad wat my gekontak het, Hannelie Hunter.
Okay.
Sy het vir my gesê sy was mal oor jou en Smiley, die man wat jy laat vermoor het. En sy het ongelooflike mooi memories van julle, hoe julle altyd gaan dans het by Fabios. Kan jy dit onthou?
Ja, kan.
En kan jy my iets vertel van daai tyd?
Daai tyd, ja, dit is baie moeilik, want
Het jy 'n goeie memory van dit?
party en party nie.
Okay.
Want ek was 2 weke getroud. I was married 2 weeks when the abuse started. But when I went out with him, I never said anything. I kept quiet.
En daar's 'n ander persoonlikheid wat hy wys.
Yes, it's not the same.
Ja.
But as the night progresses and the more alcohol he takes in, I was hit around there a lot.
Regtig.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All of it.
Is dit?
Ja.
Okay. Wel, ons gaan definitief oor dit praat, want ek wil ook weet, jou grootwordjare, waar kom jy vandaan? You know, do you have brothers and sisters? How was your relationship with your dad? Because why I'm asking that, a lot of times, wanneer vrouens hierdie tipe goed doen, dan is daar altyd 'n vraag van my, hoe het jy groot geword? Hoe was jou verhouding met jou pa? So kan jy my 'n bietjie agtergrond vertel, want jy het oor die foon vir my gesê, jy het eintlik 'n baie goeie kinderlewe gehad.
ek het.
Ja, vertel my daarvan.
Ek het 'n ontsaglike baie lekker kinderlewe gehad. My ma en my pa, ja, daar's nog 'n grap omtrent daai ook. Weet jy, hulle het nooit beklei nie. Nooit beklei nie. Hulle was altyd gelukkig. En even as, my ma het vir my gesê, ja, hulle het beklei, maar ek het wel gesê, ek het dit nie gehoor nie. Sy sê, my kinders is nie veronderstel om dit te hoor nie. So ja, my kinderjare was lekker. Ons het op 'n myndorpie gebly, Wagam, in West-Naria. Ek het op 'n myndorpie groot geword. Ons het baie vriende gehad. Ons het daai jare nog in die strate gespeel tot 10:00 in die aand. En jy het sokker gespeel saam met die meisiekinders en die seuns. En dit was 'n lekker lewe. Jy het dokkie gespeel, jy het perskes gesteel. Ja, ek het baie lekker kinderlewe gehad. Baie.
So glad nie abusive groot
Glad
geword nie.
nie.
Mooi verhouding met jou pa.
Baie. My pa was my idol.
Regtig.
Absoluut. My ma het ek so 'n bietjie op sy geskuif, want my pa was alles. So, want ek het geweet ek kan met moord wegkom by hom.
Moord.
Moord. Dis net 'n gesegde hoor.
Ja.
Maar ja, en my pa was my alles. Ek het hom gehelp in die garage en en dan partykeer dan vloek hy en dan loop ek weg en dan sê okay, please come back. I won't do that again. Jy weet, dit is die verhouding wat ek en hy
Mooi
gehad
verhouding,
het.
ja.
Baie, baie mooi.
Ja.
En ja, my kinderlewe was wonderful.
Hoeveel kinders het jy self?
Ek het 5.
Okay. Ja.
Ja, ek het 5 kinders.
Kan jy ons 'n bietjie van jou kinders vertel? Jy hoef nie name te noem nie, maar jy weet van watter pa, ma, jy weet of weet
Ja.
want 'n Smiley een van die pa's, want vertel my
Ja.
bietjie maar van jou kinders.
Ek is met iemand getroud vir 2 jaar, 3 jaar, maar dinge het nie uitgewerk tussen ons nie. Die kommunikasie was nie daar nie. En hy het my nie baie goed behandel eintlik nie. En toe het my pa net die een dag daar aangekom en toe sê you better pack your things. Toe sê ek, okay, where are we going? Toe sê hy vir my, I said pack everything. Toe sê ek vir my, okay, but where are we going? He says, you're coming home. Because no man treats my daughter like that. Nou ja, toe, maar na ek en die persoon geskei is, het ons 'n onsaglike mooi vriendskap gehad.
Okay. So dis beter pille as getroud.
Baie. Ons kon nie saam bly nie. Maar ons was baie goeie vriende. Omdat ons die band het van 2 dogters. Ons het daai
So
band
julle het
gehad.
2 dogters saam.
Ja.
Okay.
Maar hulle was baie jonk toe ek weg is daar.
Okay.
Ek dink Didi was my een kind was 1 jaar oud en die ander enetjie 2. Toe ek weg is daar. Maar toe het ons daar by my pa ingetrek en ja, ag sy my was 'n oulike oupa hoor.
Oh, ek klink na 'n darling.
Absoluut,
Ek klink regtig na 'n darling.
Absoluut.
En dan jou ander 3 kinders is hulle toe nou van jou tweede man.
Ja, my tweede man was Donnie Ace. That was a match made in heaven.
Sy het geluk gekry.
Baie.
Oh.
Ek was so gelukkig met die man. En okay, ons het die 2 dogters gehad. Toe sê Dani, okay, kom, kan ons nie asseblief net nog 1 kind hê nie? Ek wil so graag 'n seentjie hê. Toe sê ek vir hom, okay. En toe gee die Here vir my tweelingseentjies.
Wow.
En hy was in sy noppies.
Wow, dit is 'n
ja,
seëning.
die jongste enetjie, wow. Sy het, ek weet nie.
Glipsie.
Sy het net gekom. Maar
Oh, wel, op 'n lekker date night.
Baie happy. Ja, so ek het die 5 kinders en ek's baie lief vir my kinders.
Is dit?
Baie. If you're gonna hurt my child, you're gonna have a problem.
Ja.
Because that little thing grew in my stomach.
Ja.
And I reared that little one. So if you're gonna hurt my child, I'm sorry, no.
Ja.
I have a problem.
En
with
is jou 5 kinders close? Is hulle close aan mekaar?
that. Kom ek stel vir jou so met die loop van die lewe, toe my ma oorlede is, toe is dit asof almal uit mekaar uitgespat het, verstaan jy? Hulle praat nog met mekaar, maar dis nie daai closeness wat ons gehad het nie. Plus, I was incarcerated.
Okay.
So, Yeah, they stayed with my mom, except the youngest one.
Okay.
The youngest one stayed with me.
Stayed with you.
Yeah.
Nou, waar het jy vir Smiley ontmoet? Of kom ek praat net gou-gou oor die ander ou. Hy's mos oorlede, né?
Ja.
Ja. En toe ontmoet jy nou vir Smiley.
Yeah, Donnie died at the age of 33. He was involved in a car accident.
Oh, ek sê hom dit.
And yeah, that threw me off course. I must say, it threw me off course. I struggled. I still haven't. I
It
haven't
was also
dealt
the
with
love
it.
of your life, sounds like.
I
It
haven't
was-
dealt with it.
No, I'm sorry.
I've got used to living without him, but he is with me every day. That's just that. He was just the love of my life.
So hier is jy met jou 5 kinders, jou tweede man is oorlede. Weet,
Toe trou ek nou met Smiley.
nou hoe het jy hom ontmoet?
Op 'n verkeerde plek. Waar my ma vir
In 'n
my
bar?
gesê het, ja.
Luister, ek weet van mense wat amazing huwelike het, nou van mense wat in 'n bar ontmoet het. So dis nie altyd 'n bad storie nie.
Jy
In
sien,
jou geval, ja.
jy sien die ding is, ek het die man ontmoet en hy het 'n lasbos van homself gemaak. En dan sien ek hy gaan toilet toe. Hy gaan ek huis toe. En die eendag toe kom soek hy my by my vriendin. En ja, toe he was a nice person in the beginning. He treated me very well. And I did fall in love with him because he was very soft and he treated me like a woman.
Okay.
And ja.
Was hy goed met jou kinders gewees? Met jou 5 kinders? Was hy nice met hulle gewees? Ja.
Yes, he was. He was, yeah. He was very nice to them in the beginning, yes. And yeah, then we got married.
So vertel my daarvan. Kom ons praat oor jou huwelik met Smiley. Vertel my van jou huwelik met Smiley.
The first 2 weeks was like heaven, like honeymoon. We didn't have money at that stage to go on a honeymoon, but that didn't worry me. Because I was so in love with this man, it was unreal. And then we went out the one night with friends, and I forgot the house's keys in their car, but they didn't stay very far from us. So I said to him, okay, let me walk there quickly and fetch the keys. Yeah. He hit me that day like nobody's business. But he was a strong man. So he hit me and I fell on the sidewalk. You know the path leading to the front door? I fell. Then that wasn't enough. Then he started kicking me. And that wasn't enough because I tried to get away. So I had long hair at that stage. And he dragged me down the path onto the porch by my hair. I was so shocked because I didn't know a man hitting another woman. So from the word go, from that night, I had a fear because I had a very protective life. And I never saw things like that happening. I heard about it, yes, but I didn't experience it. Not seeing anybody doing it or to me myself. So then fear kicked in. So he went, the people saw that the keys were there. So they brought the keys and we got in.
Het iemand gesien dat dit gebeur het, toe hy jou so geslaan het?
Yes, the neighbors did. But apparently they were very scared of him. So what did they do? They did nothing.
People don't get involved.
They don't get involved. So then he went to sleep, luckily. And I slept on the bench because now I'm scared of this man. Because I've been hit so hard now. So the next morning I got up and I made breakfast and I was washing dishes. And it was hot, it was a summer's day. And then he said to me, "Why do your legs look like that?" And then I said to him, "I must ask you that. That incident touches my heart a lot because I was never treated like that. My dad never hit me because he said a man is very strong. And yeah, my mom did all the hitting. So getting slapped around like that by a man, it was fear. And throughout the marriage, I was fearful of this man. And you know when fear kicks in, I don't know, people that don't know what fear means or what fear feels like.
Wat dit doen aan mens, ja.
You don't think rationally. You turn into like a robot. If he says jump, you jump. If he says do this, you do that. Because you know, if you don't do that, you're going to get a hiding.
Het julle ooit gesit en gesels en gesê, listen, what happened here is that they once off, they say sorry. Jy weet, want baie keer met sulke abusive mense, hulle sê, jammer, die volgende gaan dit al gebeur het 'n rukkie nie, jy weet, en dan gaan hy net maar weer aan, jy sien die lig, of het aangehou en aangehou.
The next morning, he would look at me and then he would see in what I looked like. And then he would know it was him. Then he would say sorry, but he doesn't know what happened.
Van die alcohol wat hy uitblok.
Yeah.
Ag,
Yeah. Something blocked him
my aarde.
that he couldn't remember. But
Blackouts, hulle noem blackouts.
ja. To me, that's an excuse. Sorry, ne?
Ja.
Because if I go drinking, that next day I remember everything.
Maar dit maak nie saak of blok het, jy slaan nie iemand nie. Jy weet, dit is soos jy sê, dit is not right.
Yeah, and then the people say, why don't you leave? He found me every time I left. He found me every time I left. How, I don't know.
Ja.
And don't ask me why about the police. I'm sorry, no. They don't help you. Those years, because the abuse started in 2000.
Okay.
It carried on until 2008.
Wow, dis 'n lang tyd.
But he had friends in the police force. So every time I went, they would tell me it's domestic violence. We cannot help you. So I didn't get help. And for instance, if a person comes to you and says to you the whole time, you bad, you bad, you bad. After a long while, you're going to say, I'm bad. Because why? Everybody's telling you that.
I'm deserving this.
Yes, you're deserving this hiding. So yeah, there's so many things that they did to me. Emotionally, physically, sexually, everything was done to me.
Het jou jong dogter by julle gebly at the time?
Yes.
Okay. Hoe oud was sy gewees?
11. Yeah, I'm trying to think back. Yeah, it's a long time. About 11. I can remember one thing, and since I said that, and since it happened, what happened, you must watch what you say with your tongue. You must watch what you say with your tongue. It was just said in a conversation. I was standing by the door in the kitchen. She was 11 years old. She was standing next to me. And then he was busy in the kitchen doing, I can't remember what. And then we were just talking. And then I said to him, Smiley, and he looked at me. I said to him, do you see this next to me? He said, yes. I said, touch her, hurt her. And I'll tell you, watch what you say with your mouth. Don't say things like that. Because karma.
Maar hoekom het jy dit? Het jy net gesê like conversational?
It was
that
just
nothing happened, weet jy? Het jy niks van jou?
Nothing.
Ja.
It was just, I don't know, maybe mother intuition at that stage. I don't know. I can't explain it. I said to him, you see this? You hurt her. You hurt her and you're going to die. That's why, from that time, I watch what I say with my mouth. Because a tongue can kill.
Ja.
And it cuts.
Okay, so ons gaan nou verder 'n bietjie gesels oor the why. Jy weet, want dis wat almal wil weet, why? Why? So, die groot question wat almal altyd wil weet, né? Met enige crime ding is die why.
Yes.
Kan jy vir my en die kykers verduidelik in diepte van die diepste in jou hart af, né? Wat was daai groot rede hoekom jy dit gedoen het? Want jy weet natuurlik jy kon getrek het, jy kon geskei het. Jy weet wat ek sê, daar's altyd ander ways, maar hoekom het jy daai besluit gemaak om hom te laat vermoor?
Weet jy, there's a lot of factors that led to that. I was badly abused. We had 2 businesses in a certain town. And he would come, he had a bottle store in Hillshaven. And then obviously he would be drinking there with his friends. And then at night when we have to lock up, or just during the day, he will just pop in there. And then he would come with looking for trouble. He would try and find fault anywhere. And then when I try and explain myself, then he will say to me, a woman doesn't, you listen to what I say. And then invariably, I get hit, even in front of the clients. And Linwell used to come to the shop, and he just used to come and talk to us. He was a very nice person. And then one day, Smiley came to the shop, and he looked for an argument. It's very long ago. I'm trying to think what it was about. I can't remember. And I gave him an answer he did not like. So he hit me, and he hit my cell phone that it fell into the street and it broke. But that didn't worry me. That didn't phase me out. But I was ashamed of being hit around in front of my clients. My clients that we were like family there. And because Smiley had a bad track record, he was mostly fighting a lot with people. But I was too deep in and I was too scared of him. So I tried every time he would get angry. But it happened in a split second. Him and I will be sitting and talking and smiling and laughing, and all of a sudden something would trigger him. And then I get mad. It was not an easy road. I tried my best to try and get him to stop hitting me, but he just made it worse. So if I spoke to him, it was bad. If I kept quiet, it was worse. So you don't know actually what you should do. So Linwell saw many times that he hit me. And you know, people talk to you and then you hear what they're saying. And then just the one day after Smiley left and he went back to the bottle store, Linwell came to me and he said to me, I can help you. I heard what he said and I just carried on. I can help you. But Linwell was part of a gang, I heard afterwards. I didn't know that. So that stuck in my brain, but I didn't manifest on it. You understand what I'm saying? It happened, he said that, and it went off. Until that fateful night, it somehow recalled. And I'm a very soft person, and I grew up very soft and very naive, a very naive person. And my children were scared of Smiley.
Hoekom?
Because of his past.
And
They were scared. And they were tiny, they weren't big. They were small.
Het hy ooit een van jou kinders seer gemaak?
No, except one.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, okay.
Without mentioning any names or whatever, because
Yes,
that wasn't that like the final thing for you, you know, with your daughter.
That was a final. I could still maybe carry on with abuse for years, I suppose, because abused women do that. They do that. They carry on because they don't see a way of going anywhere.
Wat het hy aan jou dogter gedoen?
He raped my daughter. I never knew that. Apparently raped her from the age of 13. She never told me because she knew what I would do. She was scared of that. So she carried that burden for years. But he had, every time him and I would fight, it was like my child would always take his side. And I could never understand why. Because she knew for a fact that he was wrong. And what I was saying was correct. I couldn't understand that fact. Then one day, I put a lock on the door because he always invited his friends over. And yeah, I got another hiding and he took the lock off the door because he said, what happens if a fire happens? But I didn't think much of it.
Toe hy jou kind verkragt het jy op het afgekom of het sy jou vertel?
Hy het my vertel.
Het hy jou vertel?
Ja.
Het Smiley jou vertel?
Ja. We were fighting and arguing the one out. And I would try and walk away safely. And he knew the only way to get me to come and carry on because he liked fighting was to tell me something.
To upset you, hy het jou eintlik half uitgedaag.
Yeah. And then he said to me, you're so stupid. I raped your daughter. And now when I get angry, I get quiet. But I have a problem, I'm a thinker. And I just looked at him. And I didn't say anything. But that night when he passed out, I lay in my bed. And I said to myself, you are going to suffer. You
Toe onthou nou aan Linwell se.
You broke my daughter. And the first thing that came to my mind was Linwell.
Maar waar het jy die R8,000 gekry? Then how did you guys agree on that amount? Because 1 or 10, you know, het jy gesê jy het net 8 of wat?
At that stage, I only had, the only cash I had on me was 8,000. And he needed money very badly.
Okay.
So when I phoned him and I said to him, Linwell, can you remember, you said you're going to help me. I explained the situation. He said that man can't walk. And then, yeah. And then the next day, it was arranged for that night.
Okay.
I am not proud of what I did. But it was, my child was hurt. And I couldn't let him get away with it. I couldn't. I'm sorry. If you're going to hurt my child, it's a problem. That's why I always say it's a problem. Because saying the word kill will never come over my lips again. Ever. Because look what happened. Years back, I said those words. And yeah, I was lying and thinking of that. So, to walk with the knowledge of you killed someone, although I didn't do the deed, but I was the initiator of that. And it's only God that can take a life. But when you are in that situation, you don't think rationally.
Jy dink nie aan die
You
konsekwensies
don't.
nie.
No.
Jy dink nie aan hoe ek 10 jaar oor wie hierdie storie gaan voel nie, jy weet?
Nee.
Ja. Jy's net so desperate om
I'm desperate
van daai
because
pyn ontslae ook te raak,
yes,
né?
I had a lot of pain that I was carrying. And there was nobody to talk to. Because nobody could understand what I'm going through. Everybody comes to you and then they say to you, "Oh, shame, I don't need to hear that. I need you to talk to me. I need you to give me ideas." I never had ideas. I did go to the police, but they didn't do anything for me.
Maar wat het hier gebeur? So het jy jouself gaan oorgee?
Yes, it looked like, first when I did the deed, I had it done. Linwell said to me, "Let's make as though it's robbery. Then maybe it'll be easier on you." So yes, we did stage the robbery. But, you know, my life was Somali. I was a robot. I wasn't allowed to think for myself. It was like I'm out of my body, I'm in the top, but my body is moving. And I don't know how to explain it so that people understand the feeling. If you haven't been in that situation, you cannot understand. But it was like I was a robot. I was just doing what I
So
had
toe
to
hy
do.
nou oorlede is daar en hy's nou vermoor, het jy enige emosies gehad? Het jy oomblik gehad van wat dit donder het ek nou gebeur of was jy in so het jy oomblik van spyt gehad? Jy weet wat ek sê, daar
Yes,
enigstens
I did.
spyt. O, is dit okay.
It was, when he was killed, it was like somebody cutting a knife, and it's like you're getting back into your body, and you think to yourself, what did I do? You took a life. Although I didn't do it, it was my initiation of it. That is something I have to live with for the rest of my life. I don't sleep at night. I don't sleep. If I get 2 hours sleeping, that's a lot. So, and I'm very hyper, extremely hyper. So to get me to go to sleep, I have nightmares of that night.
Het jou kinders jou vergewe?
Ja.
Of het hulle jou ondersteun?
Ja.
Okay, so toe jy nou tronk toe, né? So die polisie het
Ja.
nou gekom, maar dit onmiddellik het jy gesê, hoorie, okay.
Okay, ja.
Het julle dit bevestig? Jy het
Ja.
nie laat dit uittrek en
Nee.
probeer onskuldig wees nie. Jy het van die begin af,
It doesn't help.
it doesn't help, want jy mors tyd. Ja.
I
Ja.
did it.
Okay.
That's it. I'm not a liar. I don't lie about anything.
So
I
is jy
don't.
onmiddellik toe is daar 'n hofsaak gewees?
Yes, but the court case was about 3 years, 8 months.
Ja.
Because I had it in Randfontein and I tried to get bail. But because there was money, we had businesses. They said I was a flight risk. So I didn't get bail. So I was awaiting trial for 3 years, 8 months. And yeah, to get a date in the High Court is very difficult. And then every time that we want to go for a date for the court case to start, then something would happen. And then you have to wait another 3 months. My remands were about 3 months each.
So lank as jy toe nou finally tronk toe?
I was...
Want jy het 'n vonnis van 25 jaar gekry,
Ja.
korrek? Okay.
Yes, I was arrested 2008. I was awaiting trial until 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when the court case started. My court case, I think it started in March 2011. But I had to go to court every day for those months until July. July I was sentenced.
Okay. For how many years?
But in that space, my advocate and I were fighting. They wanted to give me life. But because of the circumstances and the defense, we were fighting for a number. Because if you get life, you're only eligible for parole after 20, 25 years. But then it's very difficult to get parole because they usually give you a further profile of 18 months, 2 years, or what the case. So it's very difficult to get out there. But if you get a number, you do half of your sentence. So because I was sentenced to 25 years, I only did 12. Because in 2012, we got remission 6 months. I got 3 in, 3 out. So I pushed it back. I was only supposed to be released in January 24. But because of the 3 months, it pushed me back to October. And then I was released on the 13th of October 2023.
So, just a question, because ek het 'n paar vrae vir mense op Facebook gevra, hulle moet vir my vrae stuur,
Ja.
okay? En jy het nou sê jy het nou besighede saam gehad, want baie keer as mense na die crime channels kyk, dan is geld, dit speel 'n rol, quite frankly. So een vrou het gevra, en jy kan dit net baie kort antwoord,
Ja.
okay? Een vrou het gevra of dit oor 'n polis gegaan het.
Ja.
Glad nie.
Ja.
Glad nie oor 'n polis gegaan,
Glad
dit
nie,
uit gaan
ons het nie
betaal.
polisse gehad nie.
Okay. Ja. So dit was een van die vroue, dan 'n ander vrou het ook gevra, het jy gevoel dat jy jouself gered het nadat Smiley weet toe hy nou dood is? Het jy gevoel jy het half nou vrede, want jy weet hierdie ou kan dit nooit weer aan enigiemand anders te doen nie.
Ja.
Okay.
Want Smiley het my nooit die storie vertel nie. I only heard it after his death. That his father told me that he had a previous marriage with 3 children. But they weren't allowed to see him because I had a court interdict against him.
Vir wat?
For
Sexual abuse
Ja.
and for abuse. Het hy dogters gehad?
He had 2 daughters and a son. But they never went into the story because
Okay.
at that stage
Ja.
I wasn't interested.
Okay, weet jy wat, soos ons vroeër ook gesê het, ons wil nie vir Smiley te veel ligtheid anyway
Nee,
gee nie.
nee.
Rus en vrede, jy weet, dit is wat dit is. Ja, soos jy sê, jy lewe elke dag met dit in elk geval. Ek wil baie graag hê die kykers vertel vir ons maar van jou tronk. Jy weet, 12 jaar in die tronk, dis 'n baie lang tyd. Jy weet, watter tronk was jy? Het jy vriendinne ontmoet? Vertel my 'n bietjie van jou lewe toe jy ingegaan het en toe jy uitgekom het. Is dit the same person?
No.
Tell me about it.
You know, I was, before,
Want jy was 48, né?
yeah,
Ja.
I looked down on people
Before.
because I had money and I could.
Jy was 'n snop gewees.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I'm not going to hide the fact that I was a snob.
That's fine.
I was.
That's fine.
But you know, I always said, when I was going through this difficult time, I was always praying to God, please put me on an island alone. I want to be on an island alone. But God had other plans with me. His island was a hard island.
Watter tronk was jy?
Johannesburg,
Okay.
female. I went in there the first 3 months. I was a bitter, angry woman because now I'm stuck in prison. I lived a high life. In prison,
You're nobody.
you are no one. You have nothing. And you have to survive on nothing. So for the first 3 months, I just slept. I didn't eat much because I was nauseous. I didn't like it. I just couldn't eat food. And then, I got used to the way of life. I made many friends because I'm a friendly person. No matter what I did, that's not me. Take the time to learn to know me, and you will see what a person I am, actually. But in any case, there's a lot of people that don't understand the facts, and they don't have the facts. But prison life was not easy. There's a lot of rules. They bring you down, and then slowly you work yourself up. But it depends on you. They have a lot of programs, and they have a lot of places where you can work to earn money. Okay, the money is very little, but at least you can do something with it. So after I was sentenced, when you're awaiting trial, you don't have that. You just eat and sleep and eat and sleep. It's just like that.
Watter tipe kos eet jy?
Not good.
So iets spesifieks wat jy nou nooit weer sal eet nie.
Chicken.
En ek is ou lief vir 'n hoendertjie.
No, I cannot.
Regtig.
I promise you.
Jy kan nie 'n lyf
I
kry nie.
can't get chicken.
So jy het nie uit die tronk uitgekom en sê jy's lus vir 'n KFC nie.
Oh, no. No, it's just like that. If people give me chicken to eat, I will eat it, but I'm not going to enjoy it.
Ja.
I'm not that type of a person that if somebody gives me something, say, I don't want it. No, I will eat it. That's me. I will eat it. It's fine.
Het jou kinders jou kom kuier in die tronk?
I told them not to.
Is it? So you didn't see them for 12 years?
On and off.
Dit moet hard gewees het.
It was hard.
Because you love your kids.
I love my children. But I did not want to let them see me there like that. Because it's not a pretty sight. And you know, prison has got a smell. And they used to mind our smell. So they had their own lives to lead. They were busy building families, getting married, having babies. And I didn't want to disrupt their lives. Yes, I suffered, but I suffered more. And then about 4 years, I was in my sentence. Not really knowing what to do, lying on your bed, eating, going to sleep, that's the routine. And then one day I decided, I can't eat and sleep like this. I have to go and do something. So I went through my list in my head, what I can do there, the jobs that they have available for us to do. And then I saw the beading and I said, whoa, I can't do beading. Oh, that every day, the whole day. I went through them all. And then I was a very quiet person. But I wanted to make a difference in prison. So I went on courses, the English language. And I started teaching. That first day, I'll never forget. I'm standing in front of this class, and there's a lot of them, 45 of them, and they're looking at me. I'm looking at them. And then I thought, God, please help me out. And the first lesson went off well. And I absolutely enjoyed it. I taught people that can't read and write. You get a lot of them that never had the opportunity to learn to read and write. And that was so amazing, teaching them. And then they come to you and they run with a Bible. Teacher, I can read. I can read my Bible.
Wow.
You know, that's a big thank you.
Jy het regtig verskil gemaak.
Yeah. Then I would have functions at the prison and they would need a spokeswoman. So I taught myself to do motivational speaking. Because I talk a lot. I can't help it. I just talk a lot. It's just like that. If I get onto a subject that I enjoy, then I can't keep quiet. Like now, I can't keep quiet. But it was a hard life.
En gaan
Being
visit.
alone.
Hoe is dit? So jy leer ook om alleen te wees, né? Jy leer jouself ken.
You have a lot of people. It's like 45 women in the cell. But you have to teach yourself, to cut yourself off from everything, to learn to know yourself. There I learned to know people. I helped a lot of young girls that come in there that were arrested for drug dealing, that were coming off drugs. Many nights I used to sit on the floor and I used to just be with that person, speaking to her while she's having her withdrawals, with her withdrawals. And because of my age, everybody looked up to me as a mother. So I permanently had people, but I was physically working from 8 until 2:30. 2:30 I must be back because then they lock you up. But then I was preparing my lessons. So that helped me a lot for the years to go fast. You understand? I learned all walks of life. And I learned that I'm no better than the person that's the homeless person on the street. I'm no better than that person. So when I walk past people, I'm always friendly. Because I've learned the hard way. Not, okay, no, I have to say this one in Afrikaans, om nie te oordeel nie.
Ja, exactly dit, man. I mean, op die einde van die dag, die mense wat tronk toe gaan, soos jy sê, dis mense met geld, dis mooi mense, lang mense, kort mense, vet mense.
Beautiful.
Enige mens, jy weet, kan daar ingaan. Dis nie net die armes of die baddies nie. Jy weet, dit is, okay, obviously hulle bad gedoen, maar jy weet wat, hulle het 'n fout gemaak. En
But most
walks
of
of
the
life
women,
is in die tronk.
most of the women there had been abused and killed.
Rarig.
But they like you and me.
Wow.
Makeup, nice hair.
Ja.
Only thing is we have a prison uniform.
Dit is soos my een mentor Greta, sy sê
Nails,
altyd,
everything.
my een mentor Greta, sy sê altyd, ons boeke is geskryf.
Ja.
Want presies wat jy nou sê, né? Ek het die mooiste naels, die mooiste make-up, alles perfek. Jy weet nie wanneer jy eendag in 'n situasie gaan kom, jy weet, wat jy 'n besluit gaan maak wat die res van jou lewe gaan beïnvloed nie. Want jy het nooit as 'n jong dogtertjie gedink of as 'n vrou weet toe jy lappie getroud was, dit is wat jou waar jy gaan eindig nie, wat deel van jou lewe gaan wees nie.
And that's where I want to help.
Yes. Want weet jy, ek kyk na jou en ek moet vir jou sê, en ons gaan nou amper die interview eindig, maar hoorie so, my ouma het altyd gesê, my ma se maat, ouma Anna, sy het altyd vir ons geleer, uit al die sondes, is die grootste sonde oordeel, okay?
Ja.
So ons 4 kinders is nogal obses om nie mense te judge nie, ons het, want ek is so groot gemaak, okay? En voel jy tot vandag toe, jy word baie veroordeel, oor dit wat jy gedoen het?
Ja, ek doen. Ek is 'n baie eerlike mens. En as ek vriende ontmoet, of dit nou vrou of man is, ek sal daai persoon leer ken vir die eerste dag. Die tweede kuier is die moeilikste kuier. Want dit is wanneer ek hulle gaan sê, ek het 'n verlede en jy moet bewus wees daarvan om my beter te verstaan. En dan sê ek vir hulle ook, jy moenie oordeel nie. Nee, hulle oordeel nie. Oh, what a lie. Hulle doen. Dis dan wanneer, dis asof die vriendskap is, die geselskap is like dood.
Dit verander onmiddellik.
Heeltemal. Heeltemal. So, ek is nou maar so, ek is baie eerlike mens. So as jy nou my toe gaan kom en jy wil hê ek met jou vriendin wees, dan is jy veronderstel om te weet waar ek deur is. Want ek is pynlik eerlik. Want ek gaan met jou vriende wees, nou, ek gaan vir jou niks sê nie. Maar iewers langs die pad, gaan jy my 'n vraag vra en dit gaan uitglip. Dan gaan jy sê, jy het my nie genoeg vertrou nie, ek vertrou jou nie. En dan gaan jy wegloop en dan is die seer baie erger.
So dating is seker nogal moeilik vir jou. Want jy gaan nou nie dit op jou online profiel sit. Jy weet, ek probeer nou die humor sien in dit, okay? Maar jy stel seker glad nie belang nou aan dating nie. Of doen jy?
Ek soek 'n maatjie mense, maar regtig, maar jong, niemand is bang vir my. Die eerste date gaan ek uit en dan is dit, it's beautiful. You're having a wonderful date. And then you tell him, when you're going for your second date, by the way, there's something you need to know about my past. Oh yes, everybody's got pasts. And then I say to him,
Maar dat is jou verlede, hoor.
My verlede is anders. En dan vertel ek hom, man, hy
Verloor jou nommer net al?
Ja.
Delete it number.
Delete it number one time. I mean, ek
dis
is
funny.
nie so nie. Ek is nie so nie.
Hoorie maar sê,
But it's funny, ek het vir my een seun wat in Swede bly, hy sê vir my ma, jy moet nou begin date. Ek sê my kind, as 'n man hoor wat ek gedoen het, ek gaan baie ver hardloop.
het jy jouself al vergewe?
Ek het vrede gemaak.
Okay. Want dit is belangrik.
Vergewe, honestly, having someone killed, you cannot forgive yourself. You can make peace with the idea, but you cannot forgive yourself. The reason why I'm saying that is that night when you're lying on that bed, things are coming to your mind because it happened, and it's traumatic, and you don't get rid of that. You haven't forgiven yourself. You've forgiven yourself if you don't remember. You've made peace with it. You haven't forgiven yourself. And nobody can tell me you have, because you haven't. Because it's still playing in your memory. If you've forgiven yourself, you're not going to think of it again. It's not going to come into your mind. I have made peace with it.
Ek kan nogal getuig wat jy nou sê. Want ek het vir jou gesê, toe ek 18 jaar oud was, was ek ook verkragt en gelos vir die dood. En ek het werklik 30 jaar later, né, het ek daardie persoon vergewe en ek dink nooit meer daaraan nie. So ek kan honestly, wat jy nou gesê het, stem ek mee saam. Want ek dink nie daaraan nie, ek het al vergeet daarvan, ek het, as iemand daaroor praat, dan is dit so amper asof hulle van iemand anders te praat, jy weet. So ek hoor wat jy sê oor daai total vergifnis.
Total forgiveness is you don't think about it, it doesn't come up in your mind.
Wow.
By me, I still think of it because I am still trying to forgive myself. But I have made peace with it.
As jy die klok kan terugdraai, as jy vir jouself op 48 nou kan in die spieël kyk en vir jouself sê, wat sal jy anders gedoen het? Sou jy dit anders gedoen het?
There was help, I didn't see it.
Okay.
There was help. When I went into prison, I lay on my bed the one day, and then I realized, but there was help there, there was help there, there was help there. I did not see it. There was help. And that is where I come in, where I want to help the next person. If I can help one woman and one child, my goal is reached. Yes, there's many. If I can help 1 million, I will. But what I'm saying for myself, if I can help one woman and one child, or a man, then that's fine. I've reached my goal.